riches and honor are worthy of our happiness, that we are happy, and it's worthy of being flaunted or announced to the world that we are blessed because of this, won't this blessing from God really make our heart leap for joy because of extreme happiness? Of course. And this is why blessed is substituted with the term happy. So sometimes the Bible is saying, happy are those, instead of blessed are those. Blessed are the meek, or blessed are the persecuted ones. So they are equating it with happy. So meaning that when you are blessed, you are extremely happy, of course. So at the end of this beatitude of the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus exhorted the multitude, and he said, "Rejoice and be glad, for the reward will be great in heaven." So we have to rejoice and be glad when we receive these blessings, no? So the question now again to you, sisters, is, do we want the supreme blessings that Jesus promised us? Do we want the extreme rejoicing like the people in the Beatitudes? Of course, we want this. We want all these blessings. So now the next question is this. Are we, or are you, sisters, among the people of the Beatitude? Are you one of the people that Jesus described in his sermon? So we will now show you the slides describing the persons in the Beatitudes. And as we go through the slides on all the persons that Jesus described in the Beatitudes, please picture it in your mind and see whether, as we mentioned, as Jesus mentioned the blessed ones, are you one of these people that he is describing? Can you relate to them? Is it something that you can put yourself into? Is there any similarity to you? So please keep those images in mind, because we will come back to it at the end of part 1. So we will be showing it to you, and just see whether you can relate in any of the persons that Jesus described in the Beatitudes. Okay, so you have seen in the text the persons that Jesus described as blessed. And we can, again, identify them. Jesus said, blessed are the poor in spirit, those who are mourning, the meek, those who are hungry and thirsty for justice, the merciful, the clean of heart, the peacemakers, the persecuted for righteousness. So there are 8 persons. These are the who of the Beatitudes. These are the people that Jesus considered as blessed. I asked you earlier if you could relate to any of them, if you could find yourself in any of the 8 persons that Jesus described in the Beatitudes. Do you see yourself in any of them? Maybe the answer is yes. I can identify in at least one of them, or maybe no. But we will go through that at the end of the session. I will explain to you what you will do in the household later on. You can discuss this. But yeah, keep this in mind so that you could remember this at the end of the session. So far we have learned about the Beatitudes in a simple way. So in terms of who are blessed and what are the blessings. Okay? But importantly, what we should also think about what the Beatitudes gave us is not just the description of who are the blessed ones. Not only what the blessings are if you are considered blessed. But more importantly, we have to learn the connection of Jesus to the Beatitudes. When Jesus was describing the persons, the blessed ones in the Beatitude, he was actually describing himself. So the Beatitude gives us also a portrait of Jesus. So when Jesus was teaching the Beatitude, the crowd that was listening was actually clueless that actually Jesus was describing himself in the process. So the Beatitude is a revelation of the character traits of Jesus. So in fact, theologians and even the church fathers tells us that the Beatitudes are a depiction of Jesus. It's a description of Jesus and his holy ways. In the words of Pope Francis, he said, in the Beatitudes, we find a portrait of the Master. So in the Beatitude, we see the description of Jesus, the portrait of Jesus. And in fact, theologian Father Jacques Philippe said that the 8 Beatitudes in St. Matthew are above all a portrait of Jesus himself. So that's what Father Jacques was saying, that as what Pope Francis confirms, the Beatitude is a portrait of Jesus. So he was actually describing himself when he described the people that are blessed. So the Beatitude depicts the countenance of Jesus Christ. So the second connection of Jesus to the Beatitude is that it shows the way of Jesus. So Pope Francis again said that the Beatitudes is the way of Jesus. He said, it is the way that Jesus traveled. Indeed, he himself is the way. So we will also discover in the Beatitude the heart of Jesus. The Beatitudes are not only a map of Christian life, but are the secret to Jesus' heart itself. That's what Father Jean-Claude Sanya said. Okay, so the Beatitude guide us in responding to the call of holiness. So that's the connection now of the Beatitude to us being called to holiness. So for Pope Francis, the Beatitudes are the way to holiness. So if we could identify in any of the descriptions of Jesus in the Beatitude, you're blessed because you are already in the right path to holiness. So indeed, the Beatitudes paints the holy ways of Jesus when he was still living here on earth. So the Beatitude shows us the face of holiness, and that is Jesus. So we can really use Jesus's ways as example of holiness, and we can follow what he did when he was still living here on earth. So earlier, while showing the slides, I asked you to make a mental image of the persons that were described, the poor in spirit, the meek, and so on and so forth. So now this is what you're going to do in your household right after this teaching. In your household leader will be showing again the slides of the Beatitudes. Again, the description just for you to recall the persons that Jesus described as blessed. As the slides are being shown again by the household leader, there is going to be a household discussion starter. The questions are the following. Do you see yourself in the Beatitudes? And if yes, choose one that you can relate with the most. So that's why I ask you to remember the images that were described. So what is it in your experience that you identify or relate with in that person? So these are the discussion starters that you will be using in your household, and after your household leader has reshown the slides that we showed earlier. So now, sisters, we are ending the first part of session 1. In the next household meeting, we will go deeper into the persons that Jesus described in the Beatitudes. But in the next minutes, you will now be doing your household sharings and discuss the topic that I mentioned earlier. But before we officially end, let's sing a song together about the Beatitudes. You can easily pick up the song as you go. Just continue singing it until it becomes part of your heart, because once it is already in your heart, it's going to be easy for you to be doing it indeed also. Okay? So, sisters, I look forward to the next part of this session 1, in your next household. So, stay safe, be blessed, and just continue praying, dear sisters. Thank you.
Blessed are they, the poor in spirit, theirs is the kingdom of God. Blessed are they, full of sorrow, they shall be consoled. Rejoice and be glad. Blessed are you, holy are you. Rejoice and be glad. Yours is the kingdom of God. Blessed are they, the lowly ones, they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst, they shall have their fill. Rejoice and be glad. Blessed are you, holy are you. Rejoice and be glad. Yours is the kingdom of God. Blessed are they who show mercy, mercy shall be theirs. Blessed are they, the pure of heart, they shall see God. Rejoice and be glad. Blessed are you, holy are you. Rejoice and be glad. Yours is the kingdom of God. Blessed are they who seek peace, they are the children of God. Blessed are they who suffer in faith, the glory of God is theirs. Rejoice and be glad. Blessed are you, holy are you. Rejoice and be glad. Yours is the kingdom of God. Blessed are you who suffer hate, all because of me. Rejoice and be glad. Yours is the kingdom, shine for all to see. Rejoice and be glad. Blessed are you, holy are you. Rejoice and be glad.